Join us all this week for live coverage from Radio Row in New Orleans as we bring you live coverage of Super Bowl 59 here on Chat Sports. We're going to be talking to some of the biggest names across the National Football League, bringing you exclusive interviews and content right here on the channel. And, of course, we will have a watch party for the big game as well. Let's get 20 subscribers off today's video for continuing NFL coverage you won't find anywhere else. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/chatsportstv, and we'll get started with today's show. Last game of the year, Brent. Can't hold anything back now. It is Super Bowl 59 between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of NFL Daily. As we break down this matchup, we'll go over the key players, the X factors, the quarterback duo, as well as the coaches, and what's it going to take for a Chiefs win or an Eagles win, and I'll have my prediction coming up at the end of today's show. Let's break it down for you. The matchup between these two teams, the Chiefs had a fantastic regular season, 15-2. Patrick Mahomes only lost one game as the Chiefs starting quarterback this season. That was against Buffalo, and he got the chance to avenge that loss in the AFC Championship game against the Bills. Meanwhile, the Eagles had the number 2 seed in the NFC, finishing 14-3. And you compare these teams statistically speaking, the Chiefs with the 12th ranked scoring offense in the league at 23.2 points per game, 4th in scoring defense at 19.4 points per game. The Eagles with the edge in scoring offense, 6th best in the NFL at 28.4 points per game, and 1st in scoring defense at 17.9 points per game. The odds have the Chiefs slightly favored in this neutral site matchup from New Orleans by about 1.5, and the over-under set at 48.5 for this matchup. We have seen the Chiefs and Eagles square off 11 times over their history. The Chiefs lead the all-time series 6-5. The Eagles, more recently, got a win between these two teams. They met on a Monday night game where the Eagles got the win 21-17 in Arrowhead. It was the last ever matchup between Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce. Now Jason, of course, retired and doing television for ESPN now. They also squared off in the Super Bowl just 2 years ago. This will be the second Super Bowl meeting in 3 seasons between these two, and the Chiefs, of course, got a big win that day, 38-35. The Chiefs' road to New Orleans not only includes that 15-2 record, they had a bye week in the wild card round, then faced the Houston Texans in the divisional round with a pretty convincing win in a game that was never really in doubt, a 23-14 victory. And then they faced the Buffalo Bills, and they were able to fight all day long. They got behind a couple different times in this game and always responded, finding a way to get it done 32-29. And I would say this about the Kansas City Chiefs. I know that a lot of people have been talking about how lucky they are and the refs are helping them out and all this nonsense out there. And what we've seen in the last several weeks, really dating back to the Browns game, this Chiefs team is playing their best football at this time of year. That they have their best foot forward right now. They look like a different football team than they did at the midway point of the season. Meanwhile, for the Philadelphia Eagles, they had a 14-3 record, and they were able to win against the Green Bay Packers with a 22-10 victory in the wild card round. Then took on the Los Angeles Rams in a snow game. It was just a straight-on blizzard there, but Saquon Barkley ran the ball extremely well. They were able to get that done 28-22. And then maybe the best win of the entire season for any team in the National Football League this year, dominating performance against the Commanders in the NFC Championship game, 55-23. And I think what you see with this Eagles team, that Commanders game is a good example, is that they have championship DNA. They run the football well, and they play really good defense, and they are able to overpower you and dominate you. And that is when the Eagles are at their best, and We've seen that recently with the Commanders game as a great example of that. Coming up in a moment, I'll give you my prediction for how I see the Super Bowl playing out. But we want to hear from you guys first. You going with the Chiefs or are you going with the Eagles? Type KC for Kansas City Chiefs. Type PHI for the Philadelphia Eagles. Let us know in the comments section below. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, including tickets to the big game. I got to tell you, I have gotten tickets to playoff games before. Got to take my dad and had a fantastic time. And whether you're looking for tickets to the big game, maybe it's another sporting event, concert, theater production within your area, Game Time has got you covered, and you got the chance to make new memories to begin this year. Game Time is a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals and great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. They have their super deals. If you see a super deal, that's the deal you don't want to pass up on. They have their customize your spot feature as well as their seat views. You choose the event you want to go to. They got the prices listed. You choose your seat, see if you like that seat or not, and then boom, just like that, you're checking out with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. Game Time provides you the lowest priced guaranteed, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Your tickets are guaranteed to be delivered on time, and your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Let's talk about the coaching matchup now, beginning with Big Red, Andy Reid. He is the all-time winningest coach of both of these organizations, Kansas City and Philadelphia, as he eclipsed over 300 wins this season all-time, 301 total, with 162 losses and one tie. He's looking for that fourth Super Bowl ring, and this is his sixth Super Bowl appearance all-time. 2 losses for him in the Super Bowl, one with Philadelphia and one with Kansas City. Meanwhile, Nick Sirianni, one of the best young coaches in the NFL. His first 4 seasons in the league have included 4 straight winning seasons, and he was also given the Maxwell Club's NFL Coach of the Year award in 2022. This will be his second appearance, as he's hoping for better luck than the last go-round when he lost to Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs just a couple of years ago. Coaching, I think that Andy has an advantage here. I think everybody would take Andy Reid over Nick Sirianni, and there have been some serious doubters about Nick Sirianni over the last year plus, and it says a lot about him that with all they went through last year, that they're able to work their way through things, moving on from Jason Kelce, that they could get back to this point with the adversity they showed, but still, nobody has done it like Andy Reid. He's the best offensive mind in this league. He's got the best defensive coordinator with Spags working around him as well. I think Andy's got a coaching advantage similar to what he had in the AFC Championship game against Sean McDermott as well. The quarterbacks that this game features include Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. It wasn't the best year statistically speaking for Patrick Mahomes, as he was kind of notorious in the first half of the season for turning the football over, but he finished very strong and did a much better job of taking care of the football at the end of the season. He finished with close to 4,000 yards passing, a completion percentage near 68%, 28 total touchdowns. Jalen Hurts had a higher completion percentage, not nearly as many yards. He did rush a lot, 630 yards, 32 touchdowns, and a QB rating of 103.7. And Jalen Hurts was a little bit banged up, but it looks like that he is A-OK and good to go at full strength based on the way that he performed against the Commanders there. Mahomes, he's chasing history. This is a guy that I don't think you're comparing him to Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. You're talking about Patrick Mahomes being right up there with the greats like Tom Brady and Joe Montana. And another Super Bowl win, another Super Bowl MVP, certainly puts him in that conversation among the all-time greats if he isn't there already. You look at Jalen Hurts, he's had a pretty decent career himself. This is his second Super Bowl, obviously, But you look at the resume, already 2 Pro Bowls, a second-team All-Pro selection, and he's already set some records as well. Last year, 2 years ago, rather, in 2023, tied for the most rushing touchdowns in a season with 15. Now, I'll say this. I know Jalen Hurts played phenomenal in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Many say he outplayed Patrick Mahomes and put together one of the best Super Bowl performances we've seen from a quarterback all time. With that said, I think we all know better by now. You never bet against 15 in Patrick Mahomes. He always finds a way in these situations, and in fact, he thrives in these environments on the biggest stage. We've seen it, and I have every reason to think we'll see it again. The X factors for both these teams. Let's start with the Kansas City Chiefs. They have not seen much from DeAndre Hopkins this postseason. He's had a few moments in the regular season, looked really good against the Bucs and the Raiders, but they would like for this to be the game that DeAndre Hopkins can step up and be a difference maker. Hollywood Brown, they were expecting him to be kind of a vertical threat in this offense with the speed that he brings to the table, but with no Rashee Rice, he's kind of taken on the Rashee Rice role of sorts as a possession receiver, but they're looking for more from him. How about Noah Gray, who had a breakout season in 2024, had multiple 2+ touchdown games this season, but he hasn't done much in the playoffs. They would like to see him have a big game and kind of take some pressure off of Travis Kelce. For Philadelphia, you got to talk about Will Shipley at the running back position. He had a fantastic game in the NFC Championship against Washington, and not just a threat in the run game, but also in the receiving game as well. On the defensive side of the ball, with the Chiefs having some question marks on their offensive line, Joe Thuney going to get the start at left tackle, and they've seen some improvements there. But the run game, in particular, the run blocking still has not been great. Can a guy like Jalen Carter capitalize? They've seen the good. They've seen the bad. Can he come up with a big night? And then there's Nolan Smith Jr., who has been really good to start his career in the NFL. Is he going to be ready for this stage? And can he get after this Chiefs offensive line and get pressure on Patrick Mahomes and keep him in the pocket? No question about it. Both these teams need some unsung heroes to step up. Think about last year's Super Bowl. McCole Hardman didn't have a touchdown catch all season until the very last play of the game in overtime. If you're the Chiefs, if you're the Eagles, you don't care who it is. You're just hoping that somebody can step up and be that impact player. Who will be the Super Bowl MVP? Will it be Patrick Mahomes? Will it be Jalen Hurts, Travis Kelce, Saquon Barkley? Give us a name in the comment section who you think is going to be the Super Bowl MVP when it's all said and done. If the Chiefs win this game, then I think it comes down to having another dependable receiving threat besides Travis Kelce, and also keeping Jalen Hurts under duress all night long, getting pressure on him, keeping him in the pocket, and not letting him escape and do his thing and create openings there. And Travis Kelce, he's been fantastic at the playoffs over the years, but if you're the Chiefs, you need Travis Kelce, obviously, to have a big day, but whether it's Gray or Juju, maybe it's D-Hop or Hollywood, somebody, you need one of those guys to step up so you can open up things with Kelce so they don't double-team him and he can take advantage and you get the best of both worlds that way. If the Eagles win this game, it will be about Saquon Barkley going off. I think he should have been the MVP of the National Football League this year. And if the Eagles win, Saquon's going to have a big game, and the Chiefs are going to have to fall behind early. The Eagles are going to need to start fast and also not make too many mistakes in this football game as well. There is little room for error for Philadelphia. They cannot afford to make mistakes, and they also got to capitalize and create some turnovers as well. Saquon's been so good, over 2,000 yards rushing, 15 total touchdowns. He has been just what the doctor ordered for Jalen Hurts. I think he's got to have a big night, and he's got the chance to do that, but the Chiefs do have the 5th-ranked rushing defense in the NFL, and they did struggle to stop Buffalo's run game in the AFC Championship game. With all that said, I don't see the Chiefs losing. I am not going to be the one that sits here and picks against Patrick Mahomes in the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Eagles are a worthy adversary, and I think it's going to be a tough matchup. But in the end, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs find a way to get it done and become the first team in NFL history to win 3 straight Lombardi trophies. I'll take Kansas City 30-27. Before we go, your turn. Predict the score. Who wins and what's the final score going to be? You going with the Chiefs? You going with the Eagles? Let us know in the comments section. Thanks for joining us here on NFL Daily for continuing NFL coverage from New Orleans for Super Bowl week. Subscribe now for free. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.